at 16 points and 7 rebounds, with 6 of 8 from the free throw line. And they'll fly to San Antonio feeling good about themselves as they remain tied with the LA Clippers for the 6th spot in the Western Conference. We welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Whelan, NBA champ, Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. They got off to a slow start as the Pels jumped out to a 14-2 lead. They were up 3 at the half, and it wasn't pretty at times in that fourth quarter, but Fezzy, got to win. You're back in the win column.
Well, for one, Steph Curry is back in the lineup, so that's a good positive right now. But for the Warriors, when you're going through a slump, having a 2-game losing streak, it's really important to have an ugly win. Even if it's ugly, it feels good to have a win right now.
All right, let's go to QP down in the Big Easy. Quick post rookie for the Golden State Warriors. Big fella. Welcome to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live. Bully, Fezzy, Bonte here. And what does it feel like for you to overcome another slow start on this road trip? Down 14-2, we're thinking, oh, boy, what's going on with the Dubs? But you're able to squeeze past the Pelicans here. Talk about these slow starts here and overcoming that, QP.
Yeah, I think it's just tough when you play against a team that has a lot of their main guys out. They came out firing. Credits to them. You know, they played really hard. Yeah, we need to pick it up in these starts. Glad we pulled it off at the end and move on to the next one.
QP, I always say it's a boost in morale when your star player comes back. Talk about what the Warriors have felt having Steph Curry back in the lineup right now.
Yeah, man, it makes all the difference. I mean, he kind of kept us in the game in the first half. I mean, yeah, he's just the heart and soul of this organization, and yeah, it's so good to have him back here.
QP, with Steph back in the lineup and Jimmy Butler creating so much offense, what's your thought process in half-court execution as far as spacing, screening, and cutting, playing off Jimmy and Steph?
Yeah, we're working on these things every single day. We watch film, we do it in practice. Yeah, in this league, you've got to keep good spacing. You got to, create open looks. And with a guy like Jimmy and a guy like Steph that creates so much attention, yeah, it just means that the others, we have to do a good job of keeping the floor open for them.
Quentin, y'all shot 55 threes tonight. 55 threes between you and Steph. Is 25 of those threes. What is the thought process behind the offense when you're out there in the three-point line?
I mean, if I'm open, I got to let it go. And then Steph Curry is Steph Curry, so yeah, I think that explains that.
Well, I got to say, QP, Festus was jealous of you spending 5 days in Miami. So what has it been like for you visiting these great tropical cities, Atlanta, Miami, you're in New Orleans now? Tell us about your road trip so far.
I think I packed one too many jackets and too little amount of shorts. But yeah, it's been good to get a little bit of heat out here, and we're enjoying the road trip so far.
All right, QP, great game for you. 15 points tonight, 3-9 from the three-point line. Have fun. We'll see you in San Antonio on Sunday.
Thanks, QP.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Anytime, Quentin Poster, 15 points off the bench. JK, Warriors had 3 players in double figures coming off the bench. So you mentioned it in the pregame show, the role players have to step up, pick up some of the starters here. And we saw that from JK, Quentin Post alongside Buddy Hield.
Well, the bench was really important because the Warriors starters started flat tonight. 14-2 start. The New Orleans Pelicans were leading, and with that, the bench came in and fused some energy. Jonathan Kuminga attacking the basket, Quentin Post on the three-point line, Buddy Hield. These are the things the Warriors are going to need. You're going to need the whole team, but right now I feel like the Warriors are still trying to get their chemistry. Had GP2 out tonight. He's going to be out for a little while. So Steve Kerr is trying to figure out his rotation, trying to figure out who's going to fill in some of those roles. The guy who's a cutter, the guy who has great chemistry with Steph Curry, a guy who plays that dunker role. A bunch of different guys on the team can fill in for GP2's role and with the things that he brings. But I thought Jonathan Kuminga did a great job tonight, just scoring, activating that offense, and really bringing this team to the finish line with Steph Curry.
Yeah, with the Pelicans missing 6 of their top players, so you get some bench players playing with great energy to start the game, but then when you get to the bench, now you're talking about guys who haven't played much at all, and now the Warriors bench have great experience. You talk about QP, Jonathan Kuminga, Santos, all those guys, Buddy Hield, have played meaningful basketball, so that's where they took advantage of that bench. And for the Warriors, you guys mentioned they had a bad first quarter, but from then on, they pretty much walked this Pelicans teams down. Fourth quarter was 26-13. They didn't find their rhythm offensively, really. They didn't shoot the ball that well. It was a little choppy, but again, they found a way to gut this win out, regroup, and I think probably the main thing, Steph looked healthy, looked like he was moving really well. That's probably the main thing from this game. Now you got to keep winning because you got the Clippers and Minnesota you're fighting to not be in that play-in situation.
We're also checking on Kuminga's left knee as well. Big knees late in the fourth quarter there. He was grabbing that left knee and missed 2 free throws as it was obviously bothering him. But let's check out the fourth quarter. That's when the Warriors really gained separation tonight against the Pelicans. They were up 1 heading into the fourth quarter. And we know their record win going into the fourth quarter, I believe now 38-6 on the season, win leading going into the fourth. Well, you see Pods with a nice move right there. They will go on a 17-3 run to really break this game open, Fezzi.
Say what you want, Bonte, but as much as they made and try to shoot threes, the Warriors really do a lot of the damage in the paint. This is when their offense is really flowing. Steph Curry's going to be out there on the three-point line, and he's going to be a threat. Quentin Post was doing a great job out there on the three-point line, but they did a great job of really taking that double team on Steph and creating shots for other guys there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the fourth quarter they took over. They won the quarter 26-13, and that's when the experience, the execution came about. I thought that New Orleans gave a good effort for 3 quarters, but they ran out of gas, and the Warriors took advantage of that.
Let me correct myself. 38-4 now when leading after 3. 18-3 on the road when leading after 3 quarters of play. But you mentioned Stephen Curry here, who missed the previous 2 games on this road trip due to the pelvic contusion. He was back in the starting lineup tonight. And this starting lineup, when they're together, they're now 10-0 on the season. Not the most efficient night for Steph. 7 of 21, 5 of 16 from the three-point line. He did pick up the 3 steals, the 6 assists. Fezzi, how'd you like the way he moved around on the floor today?
Bonte, he looked healthy. First game back. Trying to get back in the flow, but he is Steph Curry at the end of the day. He's going to get the shot going from the three-point line. Really the only guy that had it going in the first half next to Jonathan Kuminga. I thought his gravity did a lot for the Warriors offense. You can't say enough about what Steph Curry does. Not an efficient night for Steph, but still a lot of those points, a lot of those buckets came from a lot of double teams that came to Steph, and there's a guy wide open on the baseline, a guy wide open going to the rim. These are the things that he's going to continue to do for the team.
Yeah, I thought Willie Green and the Pelicans came out in the first quarter, double-teamed him early, tried to take him out of his rhythm, so the efficiency numbers were not there, but the things I look at, he played 34 minutes, he got up 16 three-point shots, so he was moving well enough to get open. Those efficiency numbers would be back in place immediately.
No doubt about that. Jimmy Butler, who had a quiet first half, had a quiet night in his return to Miami as the Warriors got blown out by the Heat. Tonight he ends up with a double-double. 18 points, a 6 double-double of the season, a 4th with the Golden State Warriors, 18-10, 6-13 from the floor, 1-6 from the three-point line. If there's one knock on this game so far in his tenure with the Golden State Warriors, is him shooting 3, but really he's a three-point shooter in the postseason, so you have to get there. But a nice double-double, and he woke up in that second half.
Well, the Warriors offense was terrible in the first half. It was really a lot of guys just standing watching Steph Curry. I thought Jimmy Butler did a great job in the second half getting offensive rebounds. Those things really activated the offense. The Warriors started to run again in transition. That was another part of the offense that you hadn't seen the past couple of games. When they run in transition, Jimmy Butler is a guy, he can play above the rim. They were throwing lobs to him. Those are the things that you see the Warriors playing this way. They're very effective. But I thought it all started with Jimmy Butler getting those offensive rebounds. 10 rebounds for him tonight. Those are huge.
Yeah, I thought he had a good second half, got to the free throw line. Again, not the most efficient game, but he manufactured a good game because of his aggressiveness. And Bonte, I think the fact that he doesn't shoot the three-point shot is actually a strength for him and the Warriors. You think about Jimmy Butler at his best is creating three-point shots. So with that, and we heard Quentin Post talk about the spacing, something they've been working on since Jimmy Butler has arrived. That's Brandon Pajemski, Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, Steph Curry, Draymond Green. Everyone else is going to eat off of Jimmy Butler's isolation plays in the mid-post. Those are the players that need to knock those three-point shots down.
Tonight's performance, though, we talked about how choppy it was, and the Pelicans are missing their top 6 guys. There's 9 games left. It feels like the Warriors need to turn it up another notch because the last week hasn't been the most impressive basketball we've seen from the Dubs.
Yeah, but, Bonte, you got to understand this. All right, when you are playing, and I feel like the past couple games has been tough basketball for the Warriors. To break out of that slump is usually going to be choppy. It's going to be a little ugly. They got Steph Curry back in the lineup, got Gary Payton out of the lineup. He's injured now with his left thumb. So you're trying to form new chemistry while you're trying to bring guys back into the fold, and you're trying to get a win after being in a slump for a little while. So it's going to be ugly. For the Warriors, I don't care. At this point, it's about stacking wins, and then you continue to build your chemistry along the way. 9
games left. You've got to, really the mission is to stay out of the play-in situation. So whatever it takes to make that happen, then you get a week off. Ideally, at some point you hit a nice stride where you're feeling really good about your offense and your defense and carry that momentum into the playoffs. But if they 6, they're going to have a week off. So I'm not quite sure that momentum lasts too long. But I do agree, Bonte. I don't think this is the performance they would want to have Game 1 in a first-round playoff series.
No doubt about that. We shall see. 9 games left. The Clippers and T-Wolves did win today. We'll check in on them as we'll check in on the Western Conference standings. We'll hear from Steve Kerr, plus break down Jonathan Kuminga's night here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live.